Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on this makeup look that I'm wearing right now. I used a couple of new products that I haven't tried before. I used the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe brushes palette, which I just got, I want to say last week. I got it in the second round of the restock. So I am going to be using that in the tutorial. And then I also used the DesixKaty Dose of Colors collection, the liquid lipstick in Sauvage. So at the end of this video, I will just wrap it up and talk about the palette and just my overall thoughts of the palette. So if you guys want to see how I created this makeup look and you want to see a review of this palette, then please keep watching. Alright guys, so I'm starting off with moisturizer and I'm using this Belif Aqua Balm and I'm just going to apply that all over my face. And then I'm just going to do my brows real quick. You guys have seen me do this a million times, so I'm just going to breeze through this. I'm using the Anastasia brow definer, and I am going to be doing my eyes first just because I'm not sure if this palette has a lot of fallout or not. So I'm just going to conceal under my brows and then also use that to prep my eyelids, and then I will zoom you guys in and we will start on the eyeshadow. So this palette doesn't have a matte neutral shade just to set my eyelids, so I used a different eyeshadow just to make my lids completely matte and ready for shadow. So I'm going in with this kind of like chickpea color, orangey yellow shade, and I'm going to be using this as my transition shade. And I'm just going in with a fluffy brush and kind of blending that out. And I wasn't sure what kind of look I wanted to do, but I'm going to do like a spotlight kind of look, and I'm going to use some of the cool colors in the palette. So I'm using this matte teal shade and I'm going to start mapping out the halo look. So I'm going to apply that to the outer corner and then also into the inner corner of my eyes. The teal matte shade was surprisingly pigmented. I mean, it wasn't crazy pigmented, but I've used a lot of like matte teal shades in the past where I have high hopes and then I put it on my eyes and I'm like, oh man. But this one was pretty good. The only thing is I had to keep going back in over and over to build the pigment, but overall I think that for that particular shade it's very hard to have a pigmented shadow, so it did work pretty well. And then I just took this matte darker kind of teal shade in the palette and I'm just going to deepen up that halo effect. This one was the same thing. I really had to go back in and build the color and then go in with a clean fluffy brush just to kind of buff out the edges and make everything look nice and blended. And then I'm going to add this kind of emerald looking shade that's super shimmery, and I'm just going to spray my brush with some rose water spray and then pop that into the center of the lids. It's such a beautiful color. I love this color. And then I'm going to pop on some inspired lashes from Creative Soul. And then for primer, I'm using this new The Ordinary Fluid Primer. And I'm just going to apply that to my face and then blend that out just so that I have a nice smooth base for my foundation. And I'm also going to use this Milk blur stick because I really like the way that it blurs out all of my pores and imperfections. So I'm just going to use a little bit of that as well. And then for foundation, I'm going to use this new The Ordinary Coverage Foundation. And I'm going to mix in a little bit of some illuminating drops. And I'm just going to apply that to my face using a damp beauty blender. And then for concealer, I'm going to use the Tarte Cosmetics Shape Tape, which I've been using for a while now. And I am going to contour just for the sake of it. I'm using the Anastasia stick foundation in the color Fawn, which is the contour shade. And I'm just going to contour my cheeks, around my forehead, and then also my jawline and chin. And then I'm just going to blend that all out with a damp beauty blender, just for the highlighter. And then for the contour, I'm going to go in with a contour brush from Bare Minerals. And then I just use my beauty blender over everything just to make everything kind of blend together. And I'm going to set my under eye concealer with my Laura Mercier setting powder. And then for bronzer, I'm using this Makeup Geek bronzer. I'm just going to add a little bit more warmth to the face since that contour stick is more on the gray side. And then for blush, I'm just going to use a little bit of Luminoso from Milani. And then I'm going to line my waterline with a blue eyeliner. And I'm taking that same matte teal shade and I'm going to apply that, as well as the shimmery teal shade, which I'm going to apply pretty much all over the lower lash line. And I'm going to go in with the fluffy brush and just blend those together. And then for highlighter, I'm using the DesixKaty Mary Luminizer, and I'm going to apply that to the usual places, to the tops of my cheekbone, above my brow on my forehead, my nose, and then I'm also going to go in with a pencil brush and I'm going to apply that to the inner corners of my eyes as well as my brow bone. And then on the lips, I'm using the Sauvage liquid lipstick from the Dose of Colors Desi and Katy collection. Alright guys, so that is it for this tutorial. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this look. But like I said in the beginning of the video, I was just going to give you guys my thoughts and a little review on this palette. So overall, actually using the eyeshadows, they work really well. The mattes aren't super pigmented, but I like that because you have more control over the color and it's easier to create the look that you're going for, because sometimes if the eyeshadow is like really pigmented, one, it's super powdery, and two, it's just, it gets everywhere and it's really hard to control. So I actually like that about this palette. I feel like the mattes are a very good like happy medium. They're pigmented and they're also blendable, which is great. The shimmers are also really nice. The shimmer that I put in the center, which was this shade right here, is super pigmented and it's really beautiful on the eyes. It looks really crazy shimmery, especially even in person, which I like. My only gripe about this palette is that there's 35 shades. And like this whole section right here like looks the exact same to me. There's only like 4 really cool colors that are like super beautiful. I just wish they would have like, you know, maybe made like these whole 2 rows like different colors, because like these 2 shades right here are literally like these, like this is the exact same color. Like I don't understand, like why? They're like pretty much the exact same shade. Same with like these 2 right here. Like they're so close to each other. I just feel like it's not even necessary to have them both in one palette. I just think it would have been like more useful if it had like a bunch of different like colorful shades, instead of like a million dark brown and medium brown mattes. You know what I mean? Because you only need so many of those shades, because most of the time you're using those as transition shades. So it's just nice to have something else to kind of like play with. I feel like I can only get like this out of the palette, maybe like a blue and purple look. and those don't even have matte shades to go with them, so it would have to be like a brownish red look with like a pop of purple or a pop of blue, and then like some warm looks. That's pretty much what I can do with this palette. So overall, I think it's a nice palette. It's probably, I think the best use for this is not for like for like different kind of looks. It's definitely like an amazing everyday, or maybe even for a makeup artist, because I could see a lot of like bridal and graduation, prom looks with this palette, just because it does have a lot of different colors to suit different skin tones, which is nice. So overall, I do love this palette. I think it's a great palette to have in your collection. It's not something that you're gonna get like amazing creative looks with, but you're definitely going to get beautiful makeup out of this palette. So definitely a good buy. I think it was $38 for 35 shadows, which I think is a great deal. Alright guys, so that is it for this tutorial and review. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Please let me know down below in the comments what you think, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye guys!